Yo, what's up, guys? I'm sending this out right now. Boom, so we can get everybody on the channel. I'm pumped. Haven't done one of these in a long time. Been really in the trenches building the company. And anyway, I'm amped. I love Mondays. Got my tea here. I love Mondays because the way you start Monday and the way you end Monday is the way that you go into Tuesday. And then that carries on, bleeds over to the next day. So Monday is crazy important, guys, to make sure that you're doing all the right stuff. We're gonna go over training today, like you saw in the title, how to get people to show up to appointments. I know when I first started in the game 5 years ago in digital marketing, back then I was selling for the yellow pages. But back then, getting people to show up for an appointment was like pulling teeth sometimes, or I would show up to the meeting because I would have to drive there. A lot of you guys are working local business, not just doing, over the phone Zoom calls, which is all I do now. But when I was driving to businesses, they wouldn't even know I was there. They're like, "Oh, what was this for again?" Or all the decision makers wouldn't be at the meeting, or they would need to push it when I got there because they would forget to remind me. So all these things. So let me come over here to make sure that we're good and live. But we're going to go over 4 key elements to help you make sure that they show up to the meeting. You can easily apply these. I'm going to give you the steps to use. Cool. Yo, this is so easy, guys. Let me pin something here, actually. I will be honest, guys, if you want more of this, because what I'm going to go over here, these are all the little things, guys, that if you want to make sure that you understand every little intricate part of the selling process, this is the part of the selling process. I'm not even pointing at anything right now. Should probably get a marker. But anyway, like the video if you're on right now, if you're watching live on Facebook, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, like the video, obviously show some love. But yeah, all these different things are the intricate part of the sales process to make sure things go your way. And it starts with the introduction. It starts with how serious they even take you. Because at the end of the day, if you're cold calling people, if you're using inbound, whether that's through Facebook ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn, if you have a cold caller, guys, that's still outbound. Just because you got the lead without having to do anything does not mean that it's an inbound lead. Maybe it's inbound for your team, but it's not an inbound form of prospecting. So just because you have a cold calling team does not make it inbound. Okay, I just want to make sure I differentiate the two. That's actually one of the 4 key elements we're going to go over today. So I will let you guys know if you're on right now, yes, I do have a program that you can get that is specifically just geared for sales. It is not a mentorship of any kind, like my Agency in a Box or the Art of Sales. Those are mentorship programs I have available. Secure the Deal, it's a sales certification. I'll pin it here actually in the group. You can get the pre-launch if you want to. If you're watching the replay, then it won't be there, but pre-launch for... I'm going to put this in here real quick, guys. And if you guys want this, then you can grab it. There's a whole bunch of stuff like this in that program where it's just geared for sales and the intricate stuff. And it's specifically for social media marketing, okay? Like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years just in social media marketing. That's what makes me different, and I'm great at the sales process. So we're gonna dive into it. So here are your 4 key elements. If you're watching this on YouTube, that link won't be available to you on the pre-launch. It ends October 24th, 2019. Even the link in the Facebook group is gonna be dead by then. So even if you find it, it's not gonna matter. This is, if you want in on this kind of stuff, jump into my Facebook group. So here are your 4 key elements. This is going to be a short video because I do have a call at 2, which is in 20 minutes, so this is going to be about 15-minute training. Going to be very quick to the point. Okay, so your 4 key elements is going to start right off the bound with level of interest. Let me grab a different marker here. So I'm going to use purple. So level of interest, number 1. So we're going to discuss inbound and outbound. So your level of interest is going to increase. Where is inbound? Okay, so inbound is going to increase and outbound is going to decrease. And the reason why, this is your interest level, okay? And I'll even write interest here. And the reason why, guys, is because whenever you're doing inbound, anything inbound, and LinkedIn automation does count as a form of inbound, right? Because it's all about you have your automation running. You should have additional sequences on the back end. But for your inbound from ads, from LinkedIn automation to YouTube, all these inbound leads of people requesting your attention. Okay, so your prospect is requesting your attention. Okay, versus outbound where you're constantly trying to bang down doors to request their attention. Okay, so they may not be in the market for you. They may not be interested. They may not know they should be interested because you're the bomb. But at the end of the day, you're having to snag their attention. You're having to request their attention. Okay, so you're trying to demand attention, and they're basically saying to themselves like, why should I give you any? Right? So of course the interest level is going to be lower. I'm going to show you how you can increase this interest level through outbound and how you further increase it with inbound. Okay? So number one is to differentiate your prospecting source. Okay, how are you currently driving eyeballs? Okay, are you doing it through inbound or outbound traffic? Number two, and by the way, when I say outbound, I'm talking about cold calling or door knocking. Okay, that's what I consider to be a strong form of outbound. Which, by the way, when I was freaking like broke, or when I worked at the Yellow Pages when I wasn't broke, but I was still working for somebody else, they didn't teach us inbound. Okay, we didn't have any of that. All they told us to do was cold call and knock on doors. So that's what I did. So anyway, number two, we're gonna get to make sure, I actually listed all these down, your calendar invite. Okay, this might sound simple to a lot of people, and all of these might sound simple to some people. If you can take one golden nugget out of here, guys, it's a win. Okay, in this short 15-minute video, it'll be a win. But some of these might sound simple, some might not be. Some people might not have any of these. Okay, so anyway, for your calendar invite, make sure you have multiple appointments set up and always get the email to send the invite. Okay, so many people leave it up to chance where they're just like, all right, see you then. And just because they like you and you like them and you've built this quote unquote trust or rapport, it's not enough, okay? Fall in love with the process and the process will be good to you, okay? Remember that. So the calendar invite is gonna be huge to make sure that you're A, getting in front of the right people, and B, also making sure that the decision maker, that the person that isn't the decision maker, if they're gonna be in the meeting because they have influence, to make sure that they are included, okay? Not just the decision makers, but also the people that have influence, and make sure every decision maker is there by simply just asking at the end of the appointment or the end of the phone call, right? If you're doing outbound, to make sure you ask, is there anybody else that needs to be present for this meeting in case you guys wanted to move forward that I should include on this email invite, okay? Ask that sentence and you'll always make sure that you get everyone they need, okay? And what you want to do next, after you've done that, you set up the invites. Yo, what's up, everybody? I've got my serious face on right now, guys. We're just hammering this out, okay? I'm not trying to give any fluff here. What's up, Abby, for calling me out? Yash, I'll go ahead and shout everybody out here. Yash, Jamie, what's up, everybody? Natalie. I can't see everybody on right now. Let me go to the, I should be able to watch the live version from here. Okay, I still can't. It doesn't matter. We'll keep going. All right, so number three, this is how you're going to increase the interest for both inbound and outbound. How you're going to be able, for outbound, to be able to get them to show up and make it insanely more likely, and how you can make sure that everybody that has influence in the decision-making process is going to be able to help influence the decision more and to make sure all the decision makers are more incentivized to attend the call. This is the one thing, okay? So your VSL, this S definitely comes before L in VSL. So in VSL, this is basically a mini webinar. It's a short 8 to 12 minute video. Video sales letter is what this stands for. But this is an interest incubator, okay? I can't even see the letters, boom. It's an interest incubator, and what it's gonna do is going to skyrocket your level of interest. A lot of people don't have this. What they try to rely on is the customer will just show up, okay? I did my due diligence. I did the whole thing on the phone. I said all the right stuff. I sounded clear, sharp as a tack. I'm the guy they want to talk to. They'll just be there. Wrong, okay? God, I love a good cup of tea. Wrong. You need to further incentivize, people that are going to make a decision, or the people that influence the decision. Because I'll let you know, big companies, guys, because I've sold Fortune 500 companies, I've sold 6-figure contracts, okay? And I've also sold 5-figure contracts, 4-figure contracts sometimes. Like, here's the thing, guys. If you're dealing with big companies, you are never going to talk to the decision maker. And I know it might sound freaking mind-blowing to some people, because maybe you haven't been to a point yet in your business where you're selling, or maybe you don't even want to sell your big, $500 million, billion-dollar companies. But when I was only selling those companies, I chose to go after the big fish, the whales. You will never even meet the decision maker, okay? A lot of the time, I just dealt with marketing directors, head of HR, customer service, head of a department, but I never actually met the VP of the position. I absolutely never even got in contact with the owner in any way, shape, or form, okay? I was probably 2 or 3 connections away from the owner of the company, if not more. So when you deal with big companies, guys, this part is so important, because you want to make sure that whomever has the influence in the deal that's going to help you get the signature, if it's not the main decision maker, you make sure those people that influence the decision are so convinced they sell it for you better than you sold it to them, okay? That's how you get people to show up to the call. You need to have a certain level of time, or you need to have a certain level of interest, right? To get them to want to invest their time and to convince all the other decision makers. So if you're dealing with smaller business, what's up, Clifford? What about 1-figure contracts, Abby? LOL. So, just lost my train of thought. But yeah, if you're dealing with smaller business, guys, you don't have to worry about that. This process is going to be so powerful for you, because more than likely you'll only be talking to the decision maker, so you're good. I'm going to get to the 4th piece, because this is the last component. We have about 5 minutes. I'll answer any questions at the end. By the way, guys, if you want to jump into the sales program I have available, you can either, I'll tell you, I'll just drop a link right here. This is just a PayFunnels link to get into the pre-launch. You can do that. It has all the intricate pieces of the sales process you can get in there. So anyway, number 4, before we get ready to do Q&A, this is actually pretty overlooked. This is going to be either you have your assistant or you have a text feature. A lot of people use the text feature because if you're setting it up through like Calendly, this is super easy to do, because you can actually change the messaging to say, hey, this is so-and-so's assistant. I just wanted to make sure that we're still good to go. I like to send this out 1 hour before. I actually use the automated text feature. If you have an actual assistant or sales reps, you should always be following up for the appointments, okay? There's a couple ways to do this, and if you guys don't know, in the Art of Sales program, we talk about how to build and train effective sales teams. But I'll let you know, if you have an assistant or sales reps in your company, the best way to do this is if you have a manager, have the manager call all the appointments at the beginning of the day just to make sure that they're good to go. They can present themselves as a manager or an assistant, whatever. Or B, you could have the actual sales rep call them and say, hey, just want to make sure we're good to go for today, just to confirm it. Or C, you have your assistant call or text that person to make sure that it is good to go. But either way, this 4th step is super overlooked, and this is insanely overlooked. In fact, a lot of people are not doing this at all, like in their process whatsoever, and it's a major miss. So, yep, this is it, guys. That was the whole thing. If you guys have any questions, drop them below. I can take a look at those. I can answer those real quick. I have like 4 minutes, and I'm going to hop on a coaching call from the Art of Sales mentorship program that I have, that I just referenced. Really pumped, guys. These are the 4 key elements you need to make sure that appointments show up. You can help cut down no-shows, and you can make sure when they do show up that their level of interest is increased, and that if you're doing inbound or outbound, you already are able to identify their current level of interest and understand you need to fall in love with the process. Understand that if it's outbound, you're trying to earn their attention, okay? If it is inbound, they're interested, but you still need to give them a reason to want to buy before you ever pitch them, okay? There's a reason why I'm able to one-call close $36,000 to $60,000 deals on a Facebook Live and stream that shit because it's not a guessing game for me, guys. I already do the process, I do the thing, I fall in love with the process, and the process is good to me. So if you want that to be you, you need to make sure you follow the process, do that, and you can have similar outcomes. So these are your 4 steps. Write them down. Understand your prospecting source. Make sure you send the invite to everybody that influences the decision and every decision maker using that one line, which you can go back into the video. Actually, I'll just say it now. Use the one line that says, is there anybody else that would need to be included on this calendar invite in case you guys decided you wanted to move forward with what we're going to look at? And then just make sure you have those. Your VSL, make sure this gets sent out. If it's done manually, because you're doing outbound, make sure you send it via email and you include this as a link in the calendar invite. If you're going to then follow up, you have a couple choices. Have your assistant, your manager, or your sales rep follow up an hour before, or you do an automated text feature, which I use in Calendly. You could also, we just recently started to migrate to Schedule Once, so you can use that. So this is how you do this, guys. It's very, very simple. It's not a guessing game unless you want it to be, but if you do that, you have no predictability. So create consistency in your business, apply this 4-step process to making sure your appointments show up, and I'll see you on the next live training.